Hi, I'm Melissa. Welcome to my channel, Gentle Yoga and Wellness. Today I have 5 posture tips for seniors. If you're dealing with back pain or muscle soreness in your back from bad posture, this video is for you. All right, we'll start with tip number 1, foot position. So to have good posture, you want to make sure that your feet are pushing into the earth. So that means that all 4 corners of your feet are evenly pushing into the ground. Sometimes we have a tendency to lift up on the inside of our foot or the outside of our foot. And you can see how this would affect your posture going all the way up your body. So make sure that your feet are pushing evenly into the earth. Tip number 2 is pelvic tilt. So take a moment, take both of your hands on your hips. Start to tilt your pelvis forward and back. And as you're tilting your pelvis, I want you to notice that when you tilt your pelvis forward, your upper body starts to hinge forward. So you can see that if your pelvis is tilted forward just like this, it's not going to help you with your posture, right? You're going to be hinging forward, you're going to be kind of hunched over, not where you want to be. So what you want to do is think about tucking your pelvis. And to do that, you want to engage your abdominals. So take your hand on your lower abdominals. Gently engage your stomach. So it's kind of like you're sucking in your stomach just a little bit. And that's gonna help to start to tilt your pelvic bones. So let's try that again. Hinge forward and then gently start to squeeze your stomach in. And you can see how that tilts your pelvic bone. And as you tilt your pelvic bone, it starts to lift your upper body. Tip number 3 is to lift your chest. Take your hand on your upper chest. You can point your hand out and notice where your fingertips are pointing. If they're pointing directly in front of you, then your chest is lifted. You take your hand to your chest and then point your hand out and you notice it's pointing towards the ground. That means you're dumping forward in the chest. So you want to lift your chest. So that's really important for good posture. I say proud chest, lift the chest. Tip number 4 is to pay attention to your shoulders. So you want to think about very gently rolling the shoulders back. And if your feet, pelvis, and chest are in the right position, it should be fairly easy to roll the shoulders back. It shouldn't be a lot of work. If your chest is dumping forward, it's going to be a lot harder to squeeze those shoulders back because you're working against gravity. But if your chest is lifted and you're facing forward, your shoulders should naturally just hang down with the pull of gravity. Okay, tip number 5, head position. You want to think about having a string pulling up on the crown of your head. So you're lifting your head and then very, very slightly push your head back. So it's almost like you're pushing back into a headboard. It's a very slight movement. But if you think about, if you're kind of hunched forward, if you think about lifting up and pushing back, that's going to help you to get in that good postural alignment. Okay, so you may be saying, well, now I can stand with good posture when I'm standing still, but how do I keep that good posture when I'm walking or moving? So here's a quick tip for you. Take your hands and find your hip bones. So it should be this bony part on the top outer part of your hip. You want to think about leading with your hip bones when you're moving or walking. So if you think about gently tilting your hips forward so that your hip bones are leading the way, it's going to automatically engage the abdominals to gently tilt the pelvis, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and gently push the head forward or push the head back. All right, so that's my tip for good postural alignment when you're walking or moving. Lead with the hip bones. So that's all I have for you today. I hope those tips were helpful. I hope they can get you in better postural alignment. Make sure to join me for yoga. I have seated, standing, and sitting yoga videos. I hope to see you soon.